YouTubers, this is me again, and as I did last week, I found this reading in this particular book, and it's an interesting reading. I felt very drawn to this one. It's called the Discover Your Demon spread for Matters of Affliction. There's a lot of these questions that are going on right now in my life in particular, but I know lots of people have these same questions, so the example questions are, why do I always do that? Or why am I depressed? And why is my life so negative? The New Year's coming up, and Christmas is coming up, and Yule is coming up, and these are kind of questions that you're kind of asking yourself because the New Year's coming up, you want to start over, you want to do these resolutions, and these are questions that you're asking yourself right now in order to get a bigger view on things. If you can understand what I'm going at. It makes sense to me, and it'll make sense to somebody that needs it to make sense. And I've got a candle burning right here because my room's so dark that the lights actually don't make, I can't see myself in it. But anyway, this method could be compared to an exorcism to draw a demon from hiding from without a situation, an old pattern, a self-destructive streak, or other negative and current situation. So yeah, this is basically what I'm going to be doing, and it's going to be for myself, but it could be for other people as well. The tarot, it could mean more things to me. It also could mean some things to other people. Backwards. Anyway. So, consider the nature of the affliction and lay out the first 4 cards in order in the shape of a cross below. The first card actually you draw is the actual affliction card. You don't look at it at this point. It's a hidden demon. You don't know what it is. Which is generally what demons are. They're very hidden from us. We don't look at them. We don't pay a lot of attention to them. And this doesn't bring attention to them. It just helps you identify them and help you get rid of them. Okay, so the first card is going to be the demon of this week. And the first card that's in the cross is the fear that is at work in this situation. The nature of what you are trying to avoid by playing out this pattern or by this patterns of events being present in your life. The second card, the advice that you can resolve or can absolve the situation with, which you may not be ready to hear or act upon because you do not have the resources. Okay? And the third card is the resources or approach you can take to change the situation. And number 4, the actual first step of exercising this behavior or pattern or events in your life. Okay, let's see what we get. Okay, the first one is Mama Kosha, the Queen of Cups. The fear. Mama Kosha is part of the ocean. She's a big proprietor of going with the flow, being in charge of your emotions, being able to nurture your own emotions, being aware of your emotions, nurturing your emotions or bringing them out or getting in touch with them might scare you. You don't really want to get in touch with them. You're afraid of them. You're afraid of being in charge of them because you might be afraid of what you might find. You might have a lot of sadness. You might have a lot of anger that you need to deal with. And these are emotions that these negative emotions that you just don't want to deal with right now, and you're afraid of being in charge of them because you don't think you can handle them correctly, because you might have never been taught how to handle them correctly. So you're afraid of them in a way, afraid of being aware or even nurturing your fear or nurturing any emotion that you're afraid of. Okay, and number 2, the advice that can resolve this. And once again, most of these are coming up internal cards, which is kind of not strange, but just kind of makes sense in the way that I do readings. Temperance is the advice that you can take out of this. Take baby steps. When you're drinking water, you need the water. When you're heat exhaustion, you need the water, but you don't want to drink too much of it or else it'll make you sick. Take small sips of the water. You need the water. It's life-giving, but take it in small gulps. Don't just try to chug it down. Don't try to do everything all at once. Temperance. Take your time. Take small steps. Know what the right step is to take. Take baby steps, small steps. Temperance. Don't rush into things. Don't just dive right in, because it can be overwhelming. Okay. And the third card, with the resources or approach you can take to change this situation, is Chronos, the Hermit. And once again, this was also an internal card. It was when cards are reversed, I view them as more as the meaning itself doesn't change. It's just the stage that it's playing out on does change. Whereas when it's right side up, it's more an external power working on you, rather than when it's reversed is playing out in an internal stage, more personal. Mostly these cards have all been reversed, and they're more on an internal level. So these are not powers that are working on you. They're powers that are within yourself that you're working with. And the Hermit. The resources or approach you can take to change the situation. The Hermit is a person that is carrying a light in the darkness, but it's a very lonely figure. A lonely figure, meditation, drawing into yourself, and finding, getting in touch with yourself. Once again, you're kind of afraid of being in charge of your emotions. Well, maybe you need to actually see what you're dealing with. And maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it's not that overwhelming. It's just the unknown is what is kind of overwhelming. There's a lot of water cards, and a lot of water has to do with the underlying effect of things and things you don't necessarily see. The current, you don't necessarily see it, but it does move through the water and move things, even if you don't see it. So the underlying thing of this is get in touch with the unknown. Do some meditations. Really talk to yourself. And do some internal spirit work for yourself. These aren't outside forces that you're dealing with that can overwhelm you. These are internal forces that are going to be with you for the rest of your life. Get in touch with them, but use temperance when getting in touch with them, because they can seem overwhelming because you haven't probably been in touch with them for a very long time. Maybe you've kind of built walls around yourself, and you've just really just dried yourself out emotionally. You're probably in a very stressful. For me personally, I'm in a very stressful emotional situation, so I kind of block them out mostly, and that's not healthy. And what this is telling you to do is get back in touch with your emotions and nurture them, and do it with them with grace and with temperance. The actual first step can exercising this behavior or pattern of events in your life. Once again, this is an internal card. This is the Bear, the Nine of Pentacles. Funnily enough, the Mother Bear happens to be one of my patron goddesses, Native American, and I see her as kind of, I voted invocation for her not that long ago, well, maybe a year ago, not that long ago in the whole scheme of things, but there's an image in there of her churning up the earth and bringing up the roots and bringing up new life and churning things up and making things new again, taking the fermented earth, the earth that's been sitting there fallow for so many years, and churning it up and bringing new life into it. Gardening. I know it sounds really stupid, but gardening. I see a lot of gardening in your future. But in a way, yes, this kind of actually connects to some pieces I was reading earlier today, oddly enough, about meditation gardens that were built in monasteries that were called, I've been actually reading this in several different places, which is really very strange, but they were called Mary's Garden or Mother of God's Garden, and they were built on the premise that they were herbal gardens for medicinal purpose, as well as cooking gardens. And what they were used for mostly was they were very small gardens. They weren't very functional in a way that they could feed 1 million people. But they were good for meditation. They had lavender in there. You could smell the lavender and become calm. They were built there for meditation gardens. Maybe the first step for you is to maybe, not necessarily in a physical way gardening, but making a place for yourself to have a place of your own. Build yourself a sanctuary that you can you can stay in and be yourself in and meditate in and gather your resources in and start the first step. Be the hermit in a place that you've built for yourself. That's what I'm getting out of that one. Maybe you have a place that you've had for a long time, but it's not really yours. There needs to be a lot of pruning. There's a lot of gardening metaphors to this, but forgive me. But anyway, so that's pretty much what the first step is. Find a place and build it and make it and shape it into your own. Churn up the all fermented earth, because it's probably been sitting there a while. Churn it up and bring new life into it. Okay? Okay. Okay, that's not how I'm supposed to do it. Okay. So now that we've contemplated these cards, when you've considered these first 4 cards, take the rest of the deck and begin to shuffle the cards as violently as possible, contemplating the cross of cards before you. When you feel ready, say in a loud voice, "Demon be gone," and place the deck face down in the center of the cross. Pause for a moment, then turn the deck face up and look into the face of your demon, now identified and ready to be driven out. Okay. I've been shuffling pretty violently without looking at it, without destroying my cards completely. Alright. Demon, be gone! I feel really silly doing that, but I don't see how this could be a demon, really. But what I got was the Caterpillar and the 6 of Wands. It's a very bright, colorful card. But I can kind of see how it can be a non-negative card per se. But and also, it was also a right side up card. So what your demon probably is, what I'm getting from this card is, you're the lonely caterpillars that's sitting on here, and you've got all these butterflies that are all around you, and you're looking at all these wonderful butterflies, and you're wondering, oh, why can't I be like them, or why can't I just jump right into that? And that's one of the demons I'm struggling with right now, is that I want to get it done, and I want it done now, and I don't want to use temperance, I don't want to have to take time. And that's pretty much my demon for this week. And it could be a different demon for you guys, but it's the Caterpillar or the Six of Wands for your demon for this week. Okay. And thank you guys for listening in to this somewhat interesting reading. So, once again, the cards for this week. The Fear was the Queen of Cups, reversed again, from Makosha. Number 2 was the Priest, Quetzalcoatl, or the cards of Temperance. The Holy Water was the Hermit, or Coronanos, and the Exorcism was Bear, or Nine of Pentacles. And the demon you're facing today is the lowly little Caterpillar, or the Six of Wands if you prefer. Anyway, alright, talk to you guys later, and see you next week, and I hope you guys are having a good week. Talk to you later. Bye.